I was a senior in high school when my psychology teacher pulled me aside. Her expression was serious, almost hesitant, as if she wasn't sure how I'd take what she was about to say. "I worry about you stepping into the real world," she said. "You seem to live in a place of unicorns and rainbows, but the world won't be so kind." Many years later, I'm here to report she was right. Since then, life has weathered me. I've been knocked down, bruised, and left with fingerprints of experience pressed into my spirit. But even as I've trekked through rocky terrain, my inner world remains a vast, ethereal dreamscape of soft, swirling colors, drenched in eternal love and transcendent wonder. The way I see this life through a miraculous lens of beauty, hope, and possibility has never left me. So as the world and our lives continue to shake and shift, we may find ourselves tangled in grief, uncertainty, and even fear. But if there's one thing I've learned during my time here on Earth, it's that even in the darkest seasons, your inner light is never lost. It may dim, it may waver, but it is always there, waiting to be tended to. So if your spirit is in need of medicine, I'd love to share how I keep my soul glowing through hard times, in the hope that my light might kindle yours in all the ways you need. 1 in 400 trillion. Those are the odds of our individual existence. The stars had to align just right. Our ancestors had to survive for our lineage to continue. The precise moment of your conception had to be exact. It is nothing short of a miracle that you are here, that I am here, right now, in this moment, alive, breathing, experiencing. And this is why I live in a pure state of excitement about everything. To roam the earth with beings who walk alongside me, embarking on adventures and meeting new souls. To witness this miraculous thing called the sunrise and sunset. To explore art and story, feeling sunlight kiss my skin, the burst of flavor from a juicy fruit, to lose myself in deep belly laughs. I have excitement to do, feel, and experience it all, because how exciting is it to be alive? To always be among the moment. I find it easy to live in a state of excitement when I remember that one day this version of me will vanish, as so many versions of me have already passed, and I've come to know this life as being beautifully full of the ever-fleeting moments. It is all quite precious, all such a delicate gift. So I vow to myself to take full advantage of the magic that is now. My biggest secret is that there's an 8-year-old girl living inside of me, her eyes wide with wonder, glistening with curiosity, chronically happy. I am truly a child at heart, my inner child and I, inseparable, besties at last. I'll grow old, my hair silver with time, and still, she will be the one leading me forward, hand in hand. Because the idea that we have to grow up, at least in the way they tell us, is a lie. That deep awe, that amazement at life, that spark within your soul was never meant to fade. Let yourself play and find joy in the smallest things and silliest moments. Do it often, do it always. because to let your inner child live, to listen to them and honor them, is to etch joy into the fabric of your being. It's a promise that happiness will never really leave you, that your heart will never forget what it means to be free, because the awe and simplicity of a child is a gift, a gem of wisdom we were never meant to outgrow, a place where life is always an endless adventure. So don't lose them. Hold on, because it is little you that holds the flame to your inner fire. I find that keeping my soul glowing requires a healthy dose of existentialism, a celestial cushion of wisdom, as I like to call it. The simple truth, one we all wrestle with, is that one day we will leave this world. Life as we know it will come to an end. But this truth doesn't weigh me down, it lifts my spirit. It reminds me not to take life too seriously as it ebbs and flows. It's so easy to drown in the drama, in the human-made constructs that pull us away from what's real. So I create space within to zoom out just enough to avoid getting lost in the blur of it all. I remind myself, I am not just this body. I am energy, a soul journeying through time, meant to uncover the wisdom woven into every high and low. This shift in perspective keeps me from suffocating. Even in the mud, life still feels like an adventure, a sacred dance with the stars, the cosmos, and Great Spirit itself. Miraculously temporary, yet eternally meaningful. This way of seeing keeps me gently detached from the material world. And in that space, I feel lighter, like I can float, more attuned to the wisdom that remains, and more connected to the divinity in it all. If you look closely, you'll see there are so many sources of light just waiting to touch yours. In friends, in family, in love, in the kindness of a stranger at the grocery store, in a passing smile, a tender exchange that lingers. Light is in all of the beings who walk, flutter, and climb around us, in the way a flower bends towards you as if waving hello, in the way trees stand steady, offering shade without asking for thanks, in the way birdsong greets the morning, filling our ears with melody. Just noticing these scattered embers of light is what keeps my soul ignited, because if I'm ever let down, I know where there is dark, there is always light, waiting for me to notice, for me to remember. And once I do, it takes my hand and leads me somewhere sweet. Hi, I recently had my heart hurt just a little bit because I experienced my first troll. And it's not that I haven't ever experienced negativity in the real world, I definitely have, but this felt so different. And I think it's because I have such reverence for this space. It is very sacred to me. It's the first space where I've really laid my whole entire heart and soul out on the table. And in turn, so many of you have as well. I just hold it very close to my heart. So after I let myself feel it and climbed out of the slump, I realized that what keeps my soul glowing, even in the midst of hate, in the midst of darkness or chaos, is that I always lead with my heart. And I think this is rooted in the sweetness of my inner child, but I've always had this strong desire, almost stubborn desire, to
love the world, even when it's hard to love. And after years of experiencing my fair share of negativity, I've come to realize that almost all of us are suffering in some way. And there are a lot of people who don't know how to extend love or receive it or even hold it. And I think the best way to serve humanity is to reflect love anyway, to show love even to those who don't yet know how to hold it. But this doesn't mean being a doormat necessarily, because boundaries are necessary and protection of your energy is necessary. So for me, emitting love can look like an energetic practice, choosing to respond with love rather than hatred. Because the thing about love is that even if you don't see it being reflected back immediately, it eventually will be. For example, one person may not smile back, but another person may ask how your day has been. So love always finds its way around. It eventually will be reflected back at you the more that you pour it out. Rooting myself in my heart has really helped me face the harder parts of humanity, the harder parts of this existence. And I do still cry. I very much so get my feelings hurt because I'm a very sensitive soul, but I can always find my way back by returning to the sacred love that dwells within me. I also came across this quote recently that said, "When feeling the assault of ugliness, open your heart yet wider to what is beautiful. Let it saturate your spirit, soul bathe." Leading with your heart can be its own kind of protection because it really does create this energetic field around you that gives your soul space to soften, space to feel joy, and just to glow from the inside out. But if you're ever in doubt, just remember that Source is love and you are Source.